talking good.
Hey there, and welcome to Comm Chat number 3, student produced with Kurt Markwell and Laura Diaz-Sanjur and DJ Edwards behind the cameras,
Yes.
and Melissa Bagley and Austin Schaffner upstairs running the Switcher, big time TV here in Strickler Hall.
Absolutely, and they're doing a fine job, might I add.
Yes, and since we're talking about students running this show, other than the talent, which of course has to be done by professionals.
Of course.
But, you know, student run otherwise.
Yes.
But let's talk about student groups at the University of Louisville that a comm major might be interested in joining, and I know you're all about that today, right, Mary?
I am all about it. I think students need to know that there's another way they can get involved beyond the classroom.
Like we just had ICOM last week with
ICOM.
2 amazing guests, Angie Fenton and Mark Gunn.
Oh my goodness, and if you weren't there, you missed a terrific ICOM meeting. So ICOM stands for Integrated Communication, and that's a student group to expose you to various fields within communication. So we try and bring in guest speakers. I advise that group, so I'll be partial to promoting them.
Well, yeah.
We bring in professional speakers once a month to cover anywhere from broadcasting journalism to public relations, advertising, across the board with communication.
And that's something that we all are here in college to further our knowledge and get our degrees and go out into the work world, and ICOM helps you make connections that might mean that job down the road.
Yes, so that's that professional niche for you, for sure.
Okay, our second student group is NABJ. What's that?
NABJ, National Association of Black Journalists. And there is a key opportunity. If you want to be involved in any kind of writing, you've got some venues here at the university. So this is a group of writers who say, hey, National Association of Black Journalists, we want to contribute our perspective in certain issues. And I've seen some of their issues as far as, we're writing in different pieces, whether it's the Cardinal newspaper or magazine.
Lambda Pi Eta, now that's kind of an honorary
Honorary. So for those of you who strive to get those honorary type things on your resume, I would say, and they're also a very involved group. So Lambda Pi Eta is an honorary. It stems back to being formed by the National Communications Association. So they've been sanctioned for decades. And you have to have a 3.0 cumulative GPA, and you certainly meet as a group and do certain things to promote the department. So there's a lot of leadership opportunities in these groups, too.
There are. And as long as we're talking about students, and one of the enormous opportunities any comm student at U of L can get is an internship. If you're going for the Bachelor's of Science, you know you have an internship component there.
Yes.
And Stuart Ashlock, who runs the internship program, wants students to know 3 informational sessions coming up this month, October 12th, October 25th, and November 10th. And those are 1-hour sessions when you sit down with Dr. Ashlock and plan out the future internship where you will work at a media or other communication-related organization and get college credit.
Yes. What a great opportunity
Real world
to get in there
experience, plus you're working towards a degree, and those radio stations, TV stations, magazines, companies, PR departments, etc. They love interns. Why? Because they're
usually free. There are some paid, though. There are some paid.
I've had an intern or two myself. I enjoy the intern experience. I hope they will tell you they like it as well. And real world experience, and depending on where you go, you can be out there working, doing real stuff that the public sees. It all depends on where you go and how that person has dealt with interns in the past. And Dr. Ashlock knows the answers to a lot of those questions.
Yeah, and those sessions are so helpful because he wants you to RSVP for these meetings, by the way.
Yes, you don't just show up.
No, with your resume and unofficial transcript.
So you look like you're ready for a job interview.
Yes.
Because that is what an internship essentially is. That's a job that you get for a semester learning real world skills.
Yes, and I have to say, Dr. Ashlock does a great job posting internships, not only on Comm Announce Weekly, and we're certainly announcing it here in Comm Chat. We do announce things periodically, and we will here, but we have it on our Department of Communication website. There's a link for internships.
And it's filled with opportunities.
Filled. I show students there's categories, and then you click on these categories and get a sense of where your heart and soul gravitate if you're not sure of where to start. So I highly recommend looking there as well as going to that meeting.
And speaking of filling, I think we filled our time for this week.
Yeah.
So student produced Comm Chat. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you again next week. And thank you